I am no man. And my daughters, who, I'm raising as feminists, right? We all stand up and we say, I am no man.
Welcome to Voiceover. I'm your host, Heather Bigley, and I talk to people about the movies that made a mark, that led to cinematic epiphanies. And it's not always the movie you'd expect. Today, we're doing something a little different. I'm talking to a friend about her family tradition with The Lord of the Rings. These were hugely popular movies. You probably know that if you're over the age of 25. They were released one after the other in this trilogy, 2001, 2002, 2003. And theatrically, together, they grossed almost $3 billion. My friend's tradition, though, is about snuggling up at home. Every December 26th, the family gathers to watch all three films. And we're going to hear about why and how and what that shared experience has done for that family. My guest today is Kathy Weinzinger, a senior executive assistant at Northern Arizona University's Center for International Education. She is originally from Maine. She and her husband, Walter, an engineer and accordion enthusiast, are the parents of 3 daughters.
So Walter had read the books as a youth. I think we read The Hobbit with the kids, but I have not read through the books, and I should because we own them. Here's my here's my preamble. We love the Lord of the Rings movies, but we are not like the dyed in the wool Lord of the Rings fans. I couldn't tell you the lineages. I couldn't tell you all the place names. Sometimes we refer to people as, Eowyn's dad, or or that one guy, or do you remember that one guy with the red beard and he killed so and so? So we're not super fans, but we do love the movies.
Yes. Well, you say that, and yet you have this annual tradition
Yes,
with the movies.
we do.
So when the movies first came out, they came out in 2001, 2002, 2003.
Right.
How old were your daughters?
So we started watching the box set at home as soon as the box set was released. And I'm going to say they were middle and elementary school. I don't know what it was, 2005, 2006.
2006.
So we've been doing this for 20 years, almost 20 years, which is wild to me. There's so much about the movie I love. Thinking along the lines of, the good versus evil story where good prevails, and you don't always get that in real life. You don't always get that in the waking world. And so I think everybody really kind of was attracted to the hero and the victories and, good prevails. And I think that's why we love the movies also. You feel almost safety, when there's Gandalf or there's Aragorn or somebody who is going to make everything right. That's kind of safe.
The tradition is, or at least there was one year, the first year, when you decided, hey, in that week between Christmas and New Year's, the kids are young, we're all just going to be in our jammies with snacks, and we're going to watch the entire series, all 3 movies in a row. So you do that the first time.
The first time we did it was on December 26th, and it's always December 26th now. It is Lord of the Rings Day. It is part of our holiday season. The build up to Christmas, especially for the mom in my family, is just weeks and weeks of stress, anxiety, shopping, cooking, baking. It's all the things. I'm the person that just makes everything the way everybody wants it Christmas Day. That's a lot of pressure. And it's absolutely exhausting. So December 26th, I wanted to do something where I did nothing all day. Nobody asks anything of me. I'm not required to cook. I'm not required to do anything for anyone. Unless you're bleeding, I do not want to hear from you. And so December 26th became the day that we lay around in our pajamas. I have to say, there are 2 discs per movie, and so after the first disc of the second movie, the tradition in our house is, picnic lunch, which is basically charcuterie board. We cut up fruits and vegetables and dips and meats and cheeses and breads, and I put it on a big, jelly roll pan with napkins, and we spread out a big, blanket on the floor, and that's one of our traditions for this event is just to sit on the floor and snack.
So that means let's just put the kids in front of a movie so that they're content
Yep.
and they don't think, hey, mom, hey, mom, hey, mom.
Yep.
But they're just, yeah.
They're engaged. But I do have to say, at the beginning of the tradition, up till now, movie watching is not required. It's just on. So there's lots that's also happening during Lord of the Rings, like puzzles, or when they were little, it was coloring books. Now they might be on their phone, or somebody may be playing on the Switch on the couch, or they may be in and out of the room depending upon if they feel like napping, because naps are allowed on Lord of the Rings Day. So I don't think anyone in my household watches the complete 12 hours unblinking. I think they come in and out of the room as they please. Some watch more, some watch less. I'm generally there all day because it reminds the kids not to ask me to do anything.
Do people get invited to this? I mean, I was invited at one time.
Yes.
Kwong and I
Yep.
did come once. So talk to us about like how it informs, December 26th, 27th, et cetera, et cetera.
People know that it is a day that is sacred amongst the Weinzingers. Knock on the door only if you want to watch Lord of the Rings. One year we actually put a sign on the door that said "No admittance except on party business," which, as you know, is the sign on Bilbo's door or on his gate. And so, but we have a lot of traditions also that surround the movie. Um, I have a daughter that bakes, and sometimes she will make, baked goods in the theme of Lord of the Rings. So we've had lembas bread, which, as you know, is the bread the elves eat. So she made her little version of lembas bread. It was as dry as you think lembas bread would be. Very good. One year we had an Eye of Sauron cake. That was good. And Walter asked us to cut it in the moment that the Dark Tower comes down. Like the tower's crumbling, and we're gonna cut into the Eye of Sauron cake in that moment. So we do silly things. But I really think we really enjoy each other on that day.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So you wanted to have this preamble where you said, we're not really that hardcore, guys. But it would seem to me that you still have lines of dialogue that would be important to you,
yes.
that you guys might say to each other. There might be characters that you actually really like or feel a kinship to.
Yes, we have a shared language around Lord of the Rings, and it doesn't come up every day, certainly, but there are things that one might be doing where somebody's going to throw out a line. Say if I'm making schnitzel, our Christmas tradition is schnitzel, so we have lots of leftover schnitzel on Lord of the Rings Day, and boiled potatoes, and somebody's going to say, potatoes.
Potatoes. Boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew.
Boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew. Walter loves fly, you fools.
Fly, you fools.
So if he's trying to get somebody out of the house or move somebody along, it will be fly, you fools. Or, there's always an opportunity to throw a Lord of the Rings line out. We love Eowyn, who is King Theoden's daughter who slays the Witch King. She just constantly wants to go into battle, and all the men around her saying, no, 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 and, stay home and tend the fires or whatever. And she sneaks into battle, of course, because she is a warrior. She is they call her a sword maiden, I guess, or some such thing. And there's a prophecy that says no man can kill the Witch King.
You fool. No man can kill me. Die now.
I am no man.
And my daughters, who, I'm raising as feminists, right? So we all stand up and we say, I am no man. And we all love her. We love that moment. And Walter, my husband, he loves to say what people should have done. Wormtongue, puts a dagger into someone's back, but he screams before he does it, so he's thwarted. And Walter always says he should have done it quietly and he would have been successful. So it's all these things we know he's gonna say, or we know that moms like these parts. We know that daughter 1 or daughter 2 likes this part. And that's the rule in the house also, is that if you say, shh, I like this part, everybody has to be quiet. Conversations end, stop chewing, whatever. Everybody likes some part. And so I really love the heroes. They're unrealistic, of course, but I just love the heroes of the movie. You just know that they're going to make things right, that they are going to change the world in which they live. And if you were riding alongside them, you would also be safe and see that hope wins. So it's yeah, we love the characters that make things right. Although Pippin is hysterical. I think Pippin is Leah's favorite because he's always falling over something, or he's always getting himself into trouble, and I think that's why Leah likes him.
You and your husband have decided this is a movie that we love, the family loves, and we want our children to see it again and again, or we like seeing it again and again, and our children are watching it with us. So what kind of important themes do you think have been important to the family in general?
Loyalty. Absolutely. We have the fellowship, and the fellowship ends up breaking apart at the end of the first movie, but they absolutely are loyal to each other. When the hobbits get captured by the Uruk-hai, Aragorn says,
We will not abandon Merry and Pippin to torment and death. Not while we have strength left.
Leave all that can be spared behind.
We travel light. Let us hunt some orc.
they're just going to chase them until they rescue them. And I just love that kind of loyalty where people are there for each other. People have someone's, you have someone's back. And I think that's what families should, if nothing else, be loyal to each other and to help each other and to aid each other, whether it's in times of need or I'll pick up your prescription on the way home. Just be there for each other.
And I think there's something else that's really important. We have both been part of a tradition that talks about how people should mourn with those that mourn. And I think that's one of the things that I really love about Christianity. This movie also says, yes, of course, and you should pick up your battle axe when you can, but also you should celebrate with people and you should have lovely moments where you have joy together and happiness. And the movie, I think, says that through the hobbits, right? These hobbits are this kind of little naive but happy little group sort of, wandering through the dark world. But you're also doing that with your family, saying come together and let's quietly celebrate our relationship with each other by watching these movies.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lovely gift you've given your daughters.
You're right. We are celebrating our family. this gives our family a little bit of identity, just the Weinzingers always do this thing. That's who we are. And so, we celebrate that. We celebrate being together, although things change, right? I mean, nothing ever stays the same. I have a daughter who lives on the East Coast now, and she rarely gets home for the holidays because she's in an industry where she's very busy over the holidays. So she's missed several of the Lord of the Rings Day, and I think she pines that more than Christmas. I honestly think she's like, I'm gonna miss another Lord of the Rings Day. Where she wouldn't take the time to watch them herself. Once in a while, my husband will mutiny and he'll say, well, why don't we do a different movie on Lord of the Rings Day? This day that we can be together. But at the end of the day, we all agree that it can't be anything other than Lord of the Rings. We all just love this movie so much. I will miss this someday when we don't do it anymore. But it has been a defining part of my kids' youth and our family, and I'll love it for as long as it lasts. 20 years now and counting.
Thanks to Kathy for chatting with me. As you can hear, she's a thoughtful optimist, and I'm glad she's in my life. If you have built a family tradition around a specific movie or franchise, I'd love to hear about it. Let us know in the comments of Instagram, Facebook, or our YouTube channel. That's our show. I'm your host, Heather Bigley. Voiceover is produced by BYU Radio and is edited by Spencer Boyer.